Okay, so in this episode we're going to put some fire retardant paint and some fire retardant coatings onto the engine room. We're going to do some experimentation with this. I haven't really had internal combustion engines in my boat, so this is not something that I've messed around with too much, but I think this will become a new thing for me. I kind of like it. So we're going to get into the paint in a second because it's super fascinating. We'll do some tests, but the fireproof coating and the sound deadening that was sent out by Temu, and they've sponsored this episode. Now, I haven't used Temu yet because, you know, I've ordered stuff from eBay from China before, and it's taken ages to get here. And that was back then. It showed up, you know, not what it looked like in the photos. Sure, the price was right, but then, you know, 6 weeks later it finally gets here. I've already forgotten I even ordered it in the first place. So I thought, oh, what the heck? It's been a long time. Let's give it a shot. So Temu sent out these fire retardant, sound deadening, heat proofing coatings that we're going to use in the engine room after we do the paint bit, and you guys can see what that's like. But in terms of delivery, in terms of just how easy and quick it was just as good as all your other online shopping experiences. And for me, living out on a remote island, I don't have like single day delivery, 2-day delivery like they do on Amazon. So I actually didn't notice any difference. It showed up just as fast as everything else. So if you're willing to be a little bit patient and not get it the day of, which for me, I am, and I do that all the time, and I still order stuff through eBay or stuff through Amazon or stuff through Alibaba, AliExpress. I've tried other ones, right? So I found them to be quick enough. It did not take 6 weeks. I think it was right about 5 days for it to get here, which is pretty average for me. Most of my Amazon orders 5 days. So very happy with that. We'll get into the product itself later on. But first off, we're gonna start with the paint because that's the first coat. We've got the primer down. Now we're gonna go with the paint. This is a more affordable version. This is Safe Coats latex paint. This is an Intumescent paint. So that's a new concept for me. Basically, it's supposed to react to heat and expand, and then apparently it can burn for like an hour without actually burning the wood underneath. So we're gonna do a test bit. I've got a blowtorch. We're gonna see if this works. All right, so this is the Temu order. Each one of these is about yay wide by about 80 inches long, and $24 per section, and we're going to be able to coat about half the engine room with what we've got right here. So I've got another order to put through on the Temu app. But if you're going to put an order through on the Temu app, please check out the little link and or the code that they gave me, and you can get $100 towards that purchase. So it's a good way to get started. Here we go. It's unpacked. Looks exactly as I expected. We're going to test out this adhesive. It looks okay. I was kind of thinking it was going to be incredibly sticky. Maybe this plastic's just not that sticky. But I think given how lightweight this stuff is and how malleable it is, it's going to go on nicely. But we'll do up the door here just as a test and a proof of concept. And then we'll be able to see just what it'll look like in the entire engine room. Because then the next step will be to go to that. These were about $24 each, so it's very competitive pricing for sure, and they got free shipping and other stuff. So it's hard to kind of compete with that, and even Amazon struggles with that. So we were comparing like Amazon prices versus Temu, and on a lot of things, Temu was considerably better. Not everything, but they got a huge amount of selection on Temu. I don't think they're not filtering out quite as much as Amazon is. And there's just more available on the site. So all right, we've done a couple of tests. I've tested 1 layer, no layers, 2 layers, and I'm gonna sand all of this back and kind of show if it's actually penetrated into the wood at all. Obviously on the no layers it has just a tiny bit, but we're gonna just see what it's done on the paint, whether you need to do 1 layer or 2 layers. But looking at it right here, I mean, that's 1 layer and it's built up. There's a little bit of buildup here, but this 2-layer area, it's certainly more of a buildup there. So I'm gonna guess the 2-layer is looking a lot better. can see coloration is definitely, some of that ash has made it change colors slightly, so I wouldn't say it's zero penetration, but compared to the divot I feel right here where there was no protection, one layer, well, there's a bit of a divot here on the one layer. 2 layers though, totally flat, and I burned actually longer on these 2 layers, feeling a tiny divot on the 1 layer area. Okay, so from my little quick test here, I would say that 2 layers of paint is really what you want, minimum, and it does make a difference. So if your engine room does catch on fire and you've got 2 coats of this paint plus anything else, it'll give you time to maybe get that fire under control or get off the boat safely in a safe way. So yeah, I'm a fan of that. For 200 bucks, it's a small price to pay to potentially save your boat. Okay, so, I would have loved if this tape came up cleaner. I'm going to go try to get some Goo Gone and see if I can rub that off. I mean, it is a workshop wall, like it is the, the engine room wall, so it's not absolutely critical that it is perfect. It's utilitarian. But yeah, I like the finish. I think it's pretty good. And most importantly, it's very fireproof and very soundproof. So now all we have to do is coat the rest of the engine room. Take a moment to settle. Still not ideal. This Jeff Bond, it's like Super 99. It's just a light adhesive. So ideally, you're able to fix it more permanently with something else. So we'll get some tape on this and we'll get some hard fasteners when we start putting hardware back on. That'll help hold this all in place. But yeah, so far so good. We'll get this whole room looking real shiny. Okay, fireproofing the engine room. Let's do a conclusion. The fireproofing paint, you should use a roller. It works a lot better. The air gun I tried to use, yeah, you have to thin it out a bunch, and then at that point, what are you even doing? It's not even going on that much faster. You might as well just roller it. The adhesive on the back of the sound deadening was not very good. Maybe just old and dried out, I don't know. But once I added my own adhesive to the mix, it worked a lot better. So that stuck up good. And it might also be the paint itself underneath it that is having a tough time sticking to that paint. Maybe, I don't know. Temu is just another sales website, honestly. If I were you, I would look on there and look for products that you're seeing in other places. You're going to see them on Temu because the selection is much larger. Basically, those pads were $24 a roll. You get what you pay for. That's fine, except for that you'd be paying about 50 bucks on Amazon for the same roll. The exact same product is on Amazon. So that is nice. But if you're going to use it, I would suggest taking the notifications off on that app and don't give them your phone number because they spam like crazy. I don't know why they think that's going to work. Probably there's some people in the analytics that's saying that like, oh yeah, it's going to work. It's going to make you sell more. And so you should do it. And you should definitely not do it, Temu. That is a terrible move and it will make you seem sketchy forever. So if you keep doing that stuff, always be sketchy. It's just, yeah, kind of like late stage capitalism stuff. It's very irritating. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm gonna finish insulating that engine room and then we can start plumbing everything back in. I'm so excited to have a functioning engine so I can move that boat around. Sick. See you guys next episode.